Hello and welcome to the Daily Flange with Intoxicus Gaming. Today is February 28th, 2020, and I don't know why I wasn't doing this before. I've had this headcrab zombie hat for years. Why aren't I wearing it? I'm wearing it now, and I'm going to continue to do so, and I might make these silly hats my kind of gimmick. I'm thinking it'd be fun to just make my own versions of the Team Fortress 2 hats, because they did all these crazy cool hats, and it was kind of a thing. And with the headcrab zombie hat, it got me thinking that direction. So I might make that kind of part of my thing, is to do different hats that are video game themed in various ways. But for now, we got the headcrab zombie hat, so we're going flange with that. Anyways, to the actual topics today, Rockstar Games has released some interesting new images on their website that might be hinting at some new games, namely GTA 6 and a possible, as we flange on to a possible sci-fi aspect to the plot. We're going to take a quick look at a couple articles that don't really have too much interesting information that we're not going to cover anyways. Just stuff like Bully 2, GTA 6, even Stephen Ogg said that pretty much do the math and it's about time for GTA 6, considering how long it's been since GTA 5. It's easy to forget how long GTA 5's been around. So we kind of got a glance at the first image. This is the other image. They're very different, and there's also speculation it could be two different games, perhaps Bully and Grand Theft Auto 6, or maybe something else. But the one definitely seems to point more towards Bully, and this is the image on the Rockstar website. I couldn't find the other image. I'm not sure what I'm missing there. This I don't know if that one's been around or if that's part of this, but it seemed more towards a sci-fi theme, perhaps, just with the like neon lights, and also we'll look at it more. But here's the Bully, or the one people are speculating is related to Bully, with the themes and the colors and the writing, like killing dreams, murdering hope, fighting the righteous, bullying the weak. Seems Bully themed. I've never played the game, but it seems along those lines. Maybe Manhunt even. Maybe Manhunt would fit here. Why don't you tell me what went wrong? I'm not sure what to make of that. So 19. There's a thing with 1998. How many are these? 3 times 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Let's do 16 times 3. It's not going to be 98, is it? 16 times 3, 48. 1948. Interesting. There's speculation about this pattern here, and I'm not sure what to make of it. Apparently, there's a correlation between the number of these and the number of Grand Theft Auto games released, but when it comes to the games in order, unless it's reverse order, that might make sense, because then it'd be the first 4, GTA 3. I think there's some intermediaries, and then I get fuzzy, but yeah, I'm not sure how that might represent the GTA games, or it might represent something else, or speculations about this being some sort of code or clue or something. If we zoom in, those numbers might mean something also. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some clues and some hints going on here to what it is, but no one's really figured out anything too specific on this one. But the majority of speculation seems to be that this is probably Bully 2 related, especially with it saying bullying the weak, but it could apply to some of the other titles, depending. Although Bully, I haven't played it, but it kind of seems maybe more likely. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something, like, I feel like there's some sort of code going on with some of this, or some sort of clues, or I don't know. It's very interesting, and they've done stuff like this before. The Red Dead Redemption 2 release, as these articles note, that had a similar thing where they updated a picture on their like Twitter logo that was like Western themed or something. I remember hearing about it, but I'm fuzzy on exactly how that flanged up. And just some quick history on Bully 2. Apparently it was in development, and then it kind of fizzled out for some reason, and they're like pretty decently along apparently. So I wouldn't be surprised if they picked it up, but it also could be something else. It doesn't seem like max pain. Bully does seem quite high percentage. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's even something completely new or even related to Grand Theft Auto 6, which there's some leaks that never really got confirmed or anything, that it might be still something Vice City, but more 80s-ish. And it's just, we'll have to wait and see on that one. There's not a lot of firm info. I'm going to keep track of, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back. I'm going to keep track of if there's any developments with any of these things that seem like they might be codes or clues or hints or anything like that. So if anything significantly new develops, where anyone figures anything out for sure, definitely going to update that. This is interesting though, because the whole since 19, this seems like it might be a number. Rockstar's got this big thing of since 1998, and I forget what's behind it, but they've done things with it where it's been like in things. So the whole since 19 something is just, I'm sure there's something to that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. If there's any updates, I'll make sure to be on top of that for y'all. And this is the one, this almost interests me more because I'm more of a sci-fi guy in general, but this is super interesting. Rockstar's never done anything sci-fi before. Oh my god, my green screen, my apologies. Oh, what we got going on here? Okay, we're good? Okay, we're good. Sometimes I bump it with my chair because it's a bit close and then it gets a little bit out of whack. Anyway, so to the picture. This is super interesting. Like, people are saying wine, but that actually looks like champagne. It actually doesn't even look like it's open. So actually this is champagne, not wine, which is a significant rose petals. Like, it's sexy retro style android robot that's got like human lips but android face. Could be a sex robot maybe. But like getting all close and everything with the Rockstar logo, which is like kind of in, there's this blue satiny cloth hanging off of it. Very evocative in many ways of a lot of like archetypes and that kind of thing. Very interesting. Speculation that this might be a sci-fi GTA 6. I wouldn't be surprised though. I gotta adjust my angle because the fucking little arms are going out of frame. Oh, that's hilarious. Anyways, there's speculation this might be a sci-fi GTA 6, but also I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe even something new that's sci-fi, which would be just as cool and interesting. They definitely seem like they might be hinting towards some new games. And this is interesting. So this is last year fall, so not that too long, but someone at a panel at something, what was it again? Some panel for something asked Stephen Ogg, one of the voice actors from GTA 5, about GTA 6, and he basically said, like, do the math. Like, yeah, games take 78 years to make, or at least Rockstar's, big GTA type ones do. 7 to 8 years to make, do the math. So, it's pretty much like, use your brain, it's coming soon, it has to be, it's about time. There's some background noise. I'm hoping that it's getting filtered out by the settings to do that. But yeah, if you guys caught that background noise, my apologies. So yeah, some posts on Twitter, but this gets interesting. Apparently, they got some private videos flanged up, and yeah, so you might be like, oh, but we're not seeing them. It's about the video count. There's added count to the video count, but no new videos to go with the count, which indicates a private video, or two actually, it looks like. So yeah, it looks like they might be gearing up to drop some announcements soon-ish, maybe even releases. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like, oh, it's ready, here we go, didn't even bother hyping it up, because that would work for them. It'd just be like, oh shit, something new from Rockstar out of nowhere? What the fuck is this? Like, it'd hype itself out just by dropping it like that. Like, it's prime for a shadow drop, in my opinion. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see as always. But yeah, it's very indicative that, oh, I got a kitty. Let's say hi to Midna since she's hopping on my lap. Well, Midna wants to join the daily Flange today. Hey, Midna. Well, she's not much for being held. She usually just likes chilling on my lap, but figured she'd come visit us. Okay, back on the lap. She probably won't stay very long now. So while I got a kitty distracting me on my lap, where the hell was I? Oh yes, private videos. So what they usually do, or they do quite often with these, is they'll upload them as a private video in advance so they can double check things, show it to people, because you can show people the private video if they've got the link, or no, it's if it's unlisted. I always get this mixed up with one of them. It's one of those things where I always get them mixed up. Anyways, with either one, unlisted or private, I don't remember which offhand. Anyway, one of them people can only see it if you specifically invite them, and the other one people have to have the link. I think it's private, you have to invite them, and unlisted, you just have the link. I think that rhymed. Anyways, something like that. So they can do them as private, make sure only a select limited number of people can see them, and then show them to people to preview it, make sure it's good, review it, maybe do little edits, because you can do some limited editing through YouTube once the video is uploaded. And there's also like YouTube's really ridiculous with demonetization and stuff like that. So it also could be like scrubbing their let's go scrubbing their video free of demonetization sensitive words that it doesn't affect me now, but it will eventually. Like you say coronavirus, you're getting demonetized. You say anything to do with LGBTQ plus kind of stuff, demonetized. I think that's might have eased up somewhat recently because of complaints about it. But there's just certain words related to certain topics that's just like instant demonetization. Some of them are obvious and kind of make sense, but it's a crazy thing. So there could be a factor where they're trying to make sure, I wouldn't be surprised if they want to make some ad income on this stuff, even though it's meant to hype. They get millions of views, so why not? It's income's income. And it's in a business sense. If you spend time and effort on this video, if your YouTube ad income can pay for your video cost, fuck yeah, perfect. Kind of pays for itself kind of deal. So, I mean, I'd see them really wanting to make sure they can monetize it so they can at least break even on the cost of making these things, because they got to pay people to do it and logistics and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of reasons for them to upload videos as private and then just kind of sit on it for a while, as it seems they're doing. But back to the whole sci-fi GTA 6 and the possible impending releases. What we got here is kind of the chain it took me to get to something solid. So this article isn't really necessarily too interesting in itself. It was just the link that led me to a link to a link. So that one led me to this one, which doesn't have anything. They talk about this interview, and this is the one that got me more specific to what the interview was, and I found the interview. And they touch on a bunch of stuff, but the interesting part, do you think this game could be in the future a testimony of what Los Angeles was in the early 2010s? Wait, is this the right one? No. Okay, no, next one. Anyways, GTA has been through different times, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now 2020. Do you think you can use your knowledge for a GTA based in the future? We will do this the very second we have an idea. One of our strengths is the consistency of our game world. We're not necessarily the best writers in the world, but we know how to write for this very specific game. They certainly do know how to write for GTA. They definitely got really good at that. When we decided to make a Western, it was with what we knew to do, and we had something to say. Go to science fiction to make flying cars and laser guns has no interest. The best science fiction are those who speak of the human condition. So even if this idea is very tempting, and by definition we do what we want in video games, we lack the essentials for the moment. A good reason. That's it's yes and no. So maybe, but maybe not. I feel like I'm missing a quote, so bear with me a moment. No, okay. I'm just having a brain moment. I feel like I'm missing a quote. Anyways, so there was commentary on this. So they didn't say they won't do it, but they need to have a good reason to do it. Oops. Oh, oops. Not what I meant to click on. Not wanting to reply. Anyways, back on track here. So they're not saying no, but they're not saying yes. They're kind of saying they're not going to do it just to have fancy sci-fi stuff. Like there's got to be an over like what kind of story can they tell is what I'm getting out of this. So maybe, but or maybe they got that's the thing. This got me thinking maybe it's not a sci-fi GTA 6 and it's actually something different. And like I'm so very fond of saying, we're going to have to wait and see. And it very much could be a sci-fi GTA 6, but also the guy that was interviewed there isn't with Rockstar Games anymore, and kind of recently too. Not sure what went on there, but hmm, yeah. And I kind of didn't really catch this when it happened. So, yeah, this is interesting. Not sure what to make of him having left kind of recently. What's the date on this? February 5th, 2020. Like, hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of it, but it's kind of interesting having the guy with the interview that people kind of latched onto that gave him the idea of a sci-fi GTA 6 isn't with the company. So maybe not. But if we go back to the previous articles, like I've so yeah, like yeah, yeah, like they like the idea, but they need an overriding reason. Like, what kind of story would they tell? Because Grand Theft Auto always touches on like all sorts of socio-political satire of all sorts. So it's like, when they go back in the past, that's kind of easier to do with a retrospective in a lot of ways. But also, too, we have to remember a lot of really good science fiction. It goes through the lens and viewpoint of the era it's being written in. And a lot of times, science fiction stories reflect a lot of the social issues at the time and try and predict, okay, if this specific thing, goes really far, what would that look like? So they could wind up thinking it through and being like, okay, no, let's take that approach. But that's the thing from this. But also, too, they might be doing that and not want to let too much on too soon and kind of be not really reveal it, but not really dismiss it either, which is something they might want to. They might want to kind of play it more neutral either way if that is what they're doing, so they don't reveal it too soon because they like hyping these things. Go back to the picture, but this definitely makes a lot of people wonder, especially with the whole thing before Red Dead Redemption 2, where they did something similar, where they changed up an image to kind of get the ball rolling on the hype for the thing they were announcing. And it was kind of a stealth announcement in a sense. So it kind of feels something like that. But it makes me wonder if this is not Grand Theft Auto, and if it's something else completely new potentially, which would be maybe even better. But it could very well also be a GTA 6 took a sci-fi direction, and then we got this too. Like, this could actually be a Grand Theft Auto thing. This could be the new Vice City of the 80s, although the art styles got more of a like GTA UK vibe in a I get more of like a UK kind of vibe from this. Not so American. Like if the pink were white, I'd lean more towards this being like American, but the kind of tan pinkish color here, I don't know, something about it and the fonts and the styling, I don't know, it makes me reminiscent more of GTA London back in the day. So it's like, who knows? Like, there's a lot of possibilities here, and there's some stronger seeming possibilities than others, and we just don't have a whole lot right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if these are some codes going on. I'm trying to zoom in on that. Got some like coded shit going on with, geez, there we go, with stuff like that. Like, there's something up with that. There's gotta be, and they don't do these things for just no reason. Like like they think this out. This is not without purpose. That's the best way I have to put it. This is not without purpose. There is a reason for this. I'm certain of that. And the reason likely is to kind of be like, ooh, what's coming, and it's pretty effective because it's like, what is coming? This is interesting and kind of uncertain. And yeah, we'll have to see. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And I actually, if anything, I kind of hope it's not a sci-fi GTA 6 because it might be cool to have something new that's not GTA, that's its own sci-fi thing. But perhaps they could even wind up connecting these worlds. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually connect Red Dead Redemption to GTA, and let's say this new thing's a sci-fi thing, they connect them all together and be like, all these things are within, like, the Rockstar metaverse or whatever you want to call it. Where it's like, the Red Dead Redemption's like, way back the Western world, because it's like there's a lot of correlations, that kind of thing, just in general, just more stylistically and that kind of thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that and kind of tie everything in together into a big, Rockstar universe thing and be like Red Dead Redemption's the past, Grand Theft Auto's more modern-ish times, give or take, a reasonable amount of time, and then they do their like sci-fi thing, but everything's connected. And then there's talk of them, they talk of like something medieval from Rockstar, which would be very interesting and potentially really cool. But this doesn't seem to point towards anything medieval here. Not by the stylings and everything. It'd probably look a lot different if it was medieval, and this definitely isn't medieval, so there's no worries about that there. Definitely very sci-fi, but like very evocative of like retro sci-fi, where it's that like 50s 60s nuclear powered future, kind of like Fallout does and that kind of thing. Because like I used to read a lot of that, or I still do. Robert A. Heinlein's my favorite author, but he wrote a lot of stories where it's like nuclear powered everything, and I think a lot of people got that like nuclear powered 50s kind of Flange from his science fiction, and he doesn't really get a lot of credit for it because like that was his thing, was like everything like this future history series where everything was nuclear powered. And now there's like, they're talking about making nuclear powered spaceships for real that are like super fucking close to what Heinlein envisioned. I'm just like, I saw that the other day, I was just like, what the hell? Heinlein's nuclear powered rocket ships might actually become a reality? What? Anyways, bit of a tangent there, but it's very evocative of that retro sci-fi kind of deal where it's more like what the 50s thought the future would look like. And that'd be really cool. That I love that stuff. There's something about it that I can't put my finger on that's just really works about that. And yeah, so just so much potential here for some cool stuff, and especially with the private videos being revealed by the video count, I wouldn't be surprised if we got some big announcements soon, at least by the end of March, perhaps. I mean, it's announcement, conference, trade show season for video games, like E3, GDC, PAX, all that kind of stuff's flanging up. So, I mean, E3 is still a ways off, but just in general, these big events where things get announced, and also, they want to announce things that are going to release later in the year, so people get hyped for them. So it's like, it's kind of the announcement season for video games. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some cool stuff being revealed by Rockstar pretty soon here. And that's probably the best place to flange it up. Just had a bit of a brain fart there. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to get more sci-fi GTA? Do you think it's a new sci-fi franchise from Rockstar? Do you think we're going to get Bully with that other one? Do you think the two pictures are actually related? It doesn't seem like they are, but who knows? It could be. There could, although I don't really see it. Do you think it's going to be two games? What games do you think it might be? Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Flange it up there. And as always, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, give me a thumbs up if you liked it, or claws up if you liked it, claws down if you didn't. But if you give me a claws down, let me know in the comments how I can flip that claws down up around, and give me some constructive criticism and feedback. Let me know how I can improve. Always much appreciated. Still new at this, looking to improve and do better always. Patreon, GoFundMe are up and flanging. If you want to support Intoxicus Gaming, that really goes a long ways towards paying the bills and keeping the lights on and all that good stuff, and keeping the kitties fed and in catnip. And yeah, Twitter stream is tomorrow. Going to do both Doom and Heretic, or I might change my mind and just finish Heretic tomorrow on Saturday for the stream, because it's like a 5-hour stream for Saturday. So I might just, because I want to get to Hexen, so I might just turn the difficulty down and just power through the last episode just to get through it. And yeah, so tune in for that tomorrow, and I think that about covers all the good stuff. Yeah. I always feel like I'm forgetting something that I should mention. Anyways, I'm probably forgetting something. Anyways, have a great day, or yeah, have a good one. Remember to bring a towel.